What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today I found a deal on some drums. Some Tama Rockstars to be exact. Let's check them out. Hope you guys are doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and I am a drummer and drum gear enthusiast here on YouTube. So if you like drum deals, drum restorations, and metal and hardcore drumming, consider hitting the like button and subscribing so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks. All right, guys, so a couple days ago, I was innocently scrolling through Facebook Marketplace in the cities around me, and I just happened to find a nice little deal on some Tama Rockstar drums. Now, at first glance, I actually passed this listing up because it didn't really look like it included anything that great, but I wasn't finding anything else, so I kind of went back to it, looked into the listing, and turns out that it had some Zildjian A-series cymbals and some decent Tama hardware included with it. Now, the price was listed at $650. I went ahead and I messaged the person that was selling the kit, and it turns out that they were selling it for a friend, and the friend didn't really know much about the drum kit, and the person selling for the friend didn't know much about the drum kit. So it was a little tough to kind of get details. They couldn't send me any pictures because it was in a basement and their phone was really old and took terrible low light pictures. So I basically just tried to get them to describe what it was that was included with it. So they said that there was 2 different sets of cymbals included with it. There was some hardware included. There was a nice throne. And then the drums themselves, they said that everything was in great shape and that none of the cymbals had cracks or anything in them. So I figured, you know what? It's $650. If I can get them to take $550, the shells themselves are probably worth $350, somewhere around there, if they're clean like they say. It's probably worth it because even if the cymbals are all cheap cymbals, if there's 2 complete sets, there's still some money in the kit. So I ended up talking them down to $550 and made the 2-hour drive one way to Buffalo, New York to pick these things up. And when I got there and I started checking everything out, I was very pleasantly surprised. So I'm gonna walk you through everything that I got in this drum purchase, and then we're gonna set it up and we're gonna hear it. So without further ado, let's do it. Alright guys, so we're going to start here with the hardware. So what this kit included was a hi-hat stand, which I'm not 100% sure of the series, but it is a Tama hi-hat stand. I believe it's got the Road Pro sticker on it here. All of the hardware is Tama Road Pro, but I don't know the exact series or anything like that. Okay, so there's our Road Pro sticker on the hi-hat. Overall, in good shape. It just needs a little bit of a cleanup. We've got some very mild calcium buildup here on the middle, but it doesn't look like it's rusting through to the steel or anything like that, so that's good. We've got double chain on the hi-hat. I'm already breaking stuff, so get used to it. And then here we've got a Tama straight stand, and I forgot to grab the cowbell that is in the garage, but yes, of course, it came with a cowbell. This is double braced Tama Road Pro straight stand, and we've got the LP claw here thing. And then here, this one I will actually keep. I plan on selling all the hardware. Not 100% sure about the hi-hat stand yet, but the Tama Road Pro boom stand, I have a few of these things and I absolutely love them. They are very heavy duty. Excellent stands. This one's in really good shape. Again, it just needs a little bit of a cleanup, but it doesn't have any rust or pitting on it, so I am definitely going to keep this boom cymbal stand. That was one of the things I was most excited for because I collect these things every time I get them. Here, we've got the Tama Road Pro snare stand, which is also a nice snare stand. I'm half tempted to keep this, but I've got a few DW higher end snare stands that I really like, so I probably wouldn't end up using this Tama one for anything. Here we have a PDP throne base and bike seat style throne. The bike seat style throne is actually really hard and kind of uncomfortable, so I doubt that I'll keep this throne. I'll probably move it along. I try to keep like really good thrones whenever I can because I eventually want to open a studio, and having a bunch of thrones around for people to sit on instead of actual furniture will probably be a nice cost-effective way to provide seating in the beginning. Here, I initially was super excited for this because, of course, we got a Tama Iron Cobra case, but when we open it up, it's definitely not an Iron Cobra. It's one of the older, I believe this is like the predecessor to the Iron Cobra Junior or the 200. It may not even be the Iron Cobra Junior. I know it's one of their more cost-effective ones, but I think that it's still decent. I think it's still usable. So if I end up liking it, I'll keep it because much like thrones, I like to keep double kick drum pedals around and kind of collect a little bit of everything. So yeah, definitely, at least it was nice to get the Iron Cobra case with it, but I was kind of hoping it would be an Iron Cobra. Even so, for the price I paid, not gonna be upset. And as you can see, definitely needs some cleanup. It is very dirty. It is really dusty from sitting in a basement for a long time. So seems to be in good working condition. And then finally, we have the tom mount arm here. So let's go over to the cymbals. First off, I got a Zildjian cymbal safe, but it is missing the screw and the nut. So if you guys know, it is missing the screw. So if you guys know what size screw goes with the stock nut on these older Zildjian cymbal safes, that would be fantastic because I'd love to replace that. I'm gonna sell this. I'm not into cymbal hard cases. I have a couple of really nice bags that I use, so I'm not gonna keep either of these. I know that they usually fetch 30, 40, 50 bucks, so it'll be an easy resell to somebody who wants something like this. So on top of these cymbal safes, I got entire sets of practice pads. So not only do we've got like a 12, a 13, a 14, a 16, and then 3 different cymbal pads, but we've also got the kick pad with a little kick drum pad on it, and this is made out of foam. But honestly, I was pumped to get these because my girlfriend hates loud noises. Lucky me, I'm a guitarist and a drummer, so I'm not always able to practice, and I have to keep things quiet sometimes. So having these pads, I think I can at least get it down to a level where she won't be extremely angry at me all the time and just some of the time. So that was very nice. I was actually pretty pumped to get those. But yeah, let's go to the real reason that I wanted these drums in the first place. This was not listed at all, no pictures of it or anything, so this was by far and away the nicest surprise of the whole set. This is a Zildjian 20-inch China low cymbal, and while I do not like the sound of it, it's probably worth 150, 175 bucks as it's in really good condition. No cracks, no keyholing, nothing like that. So it's in really good shape, and that should be an easy resell to get some quick money back. Also not listed was this old 70s Zildjian crash ride cymbal. It's like an 18-inch really heavy crash. It really doesn't open up unless you bash the hell out of it. It's got some patina on it, as you can see, and it has a little chip up here. All right, so there's the chip. It finally focused in a little bit. It's not cracked. It literally is chipped like it got dropped. Overall, I mean, you may be able to round that out and repair it, and it'll be fine. Good to go. It's got a little bit of keyholing in the center here too. Almost all of the cymbals other than the China have some keyholing, so that's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. So that was also not mentioned as included. Here we've got a 22-inch medium ride, which as you can see, pretty extreme keyhole right there. Not sure, you know, where they got these cymbals or anything, but almost all of them, all the Zildjian ones have keyholing, so that's a bummer. But otherwise, the cymbal's in really good shape, so I don't know. Maybe I can get 100 bucks for that one. The 22-inch ride seems to go for quite a bit more than the regular medium 20-inch ride. Here we have everybody's favorite Sabian B8 ride. Here we have a 16-inch Zildjian medium thin crash. This one actually, the keyholing is very, very minimal on this one. There are no cracks, there are no dents. So that's probably like a $100 cymbal right there. It's in really good shape, hasn't been used all that much. Right here, B8 thin crash. Again, B8, yay. These usually really resell very quickly though. That's why I don't mind the B8 or the ZBT stuff, because the cheaper cymbals sell quickly. And then here, these were not mentioned either. I went online and went to the Zildjian Facebook group. There's a Zildjian Facebook group with a lot of knowledgeable members there. Everybody believes that these are late 70s to early 80s new beat hi-hats. The bottom is really heavy. The top is, I would say probably medium thick, but it's got the hollow Zildjian logo. Both of these are in great shape. As you can see, it's just got some patina to it, but I put these hi-hats on my stand and played them already for a minute. They are loud and obnoxious, but that's kind of good because I play in metal and hardcore bands. So I will probably hang on to these cymbals if we're being totally honest with each other. And then here we've got the Sabian B8 hi-hats, which I actually think that the Sabian B8 hi-hats are really good for budget hi-hats. I don't think that they sound bad at all. You can definitely do worse. So again, I'll sell those. I have absolutely no need for any of the Sabian B8 stuff. But again, I probably have my money's worth what I paid for everything in just the cymbals alone. So definitely not upset about that in any way, shape, or form. I actually probably have more more in the cymbals, even if I don't keep any of the cymbals, which at this point, the only ones that I really do plan on keeping are probably those 70s new beat hi-hats. Everything is paid for. So yeah, that's it for the cymbals. Let's move on to the actual drums themselves. We have a Tama Rockstar kit. Now I went on to the Tama Facebook group and tried to figure out what era these were. Everybody seems to think that they were made in the 90s. This kit is made in Japan, as you can see here from the badge. We've got a 12-inch rack tom, a 13-inch rack tom, 16-inch floor tom, what looks to be a 22 by 18-inch kick drum. It actually might be a 22 by 16-inch. It looks a little bit more shallow than my other kicks. As you can see, we've got a nice thick layer of dust here. Yeah, overall it looks to be in really good condition. It still has all of the stock heads on it, so every single one of the heads on this resonant and batter are stock. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna clean these up. The floor tom looks like it was wiped down. Really good condition. I mean, the rims and everything, there's no pitting on the rims. There's really no rust on any of the hardware. Everything looks like it was well cared for here. And I'm guessing I should be able to get about 350 bucks out of these. I really have no reason to keep them. But yeah, I mean, as you guys can see, I almost doubled my value for what I paid for these drums here. I'm going to clean the drums off and then I'm gonna set them all up and we are gonna hear some sound samples. I have no idea how bad these stock heads are gonna sound, but they're probably gonna be pretty bad. I'll try to tune them up a little bit and then we'll use all the cymbals that came with the kit. I will probably throw in an extra stand or two in order to get all the cymbals put up. And yeah, we'll hear these Tama Rockstar drums. Alright guys, so we have the drum setup complete, and as you can see, I have kind of a traditional setup here. We've got the toms sitting on top of the bass drum. This is not a virgin bass drum. Of course, it's a, it's a budget kit from 25 years ago. That wasn't really a thing. The virgin bass drum at the time wasn't really that big of a deal. People weren't asking for it. But now it's kind of all the rage. But we have it set up because I did not get an extra clamp for this big tom arm with this kit. So I figured let's set it up the way that it was intended to be set up, even though I'm not super comfortable playing the drums like that. so we'll see how badly it affects my already bad playing. The kick drum pedal feels a little bit weak at this moment. I need to adjust that moving forward. I don't know if I'll even bother because I already have 2 Iron Cobras, so there's really no point in me keeping the kick drum pedal, but everything does feel smooth. Nothing is broken on it. It's staying in place, so that's good. But these drum shells are a mid to late 90s Tama Rockstar kit. Now, these were made in Japan, and according to what I could find in the Tama forum and online, after doing a little bit of search, is these shells are more than likely going to be Asian mahogany, otherwise known as Luan. Hopefully I'm saying that right, I have no idea. But that is what everything kind of points to, these shells being made out of. Some of the Rockstar kits in the later line, which it looked like the later lines didn't have these full body lugs like these do, had either birch or basswood inner plies, but I have no idea how to confirm that. So we're just gonna go ahead and assume that these are all Asian or Philippine mahogany shells. Now for the playthrough, I have mic'd this kit up with 3 mics. I have a Samson CO2 pencil condenser above me. It's a single condenser pointed down at the center of the kit, right at the middle of the bass drum over my shoulder. Then I have an SM57 on the snare here, and I have an Audix D6 inside the porthole that I cut out of the resonant head, pointing directly where the beaters are hitting the batter. And one quick note, I did a little drum hack that I stole from our David R's channel, where you take the hole that you cut out from the resonant head and you use some gaffer's tape and you tape it onto the batter head of the kick drum, and it essentially gives you a little click pad, if you will. It makes it a little bit clicky if you keep it loose, and it also provides a little bit of protection for that batter head. So that is the only thing really I have done here. All the toms seem to be basically in tune. I tuned up the resonant side of the snare head because that was pretty loose, and the 12-inch tom is giving me a little bit of trouble, and I'm not gonna mess with it too much more. It's probably gonna be a little boingy, a little bit of overtone. So with all that said, let's hear how this thing sounds. All right, guys, so you heard it. Overall, I was pretty surprised at how good this kit sounded. I have definitely heard much worse kits, even with nice heads on them, and after me trying to tune them and everything. This thing has been well kept, it's in good condition. Whoever had it before me definitely knew how to tune it, or if they didn't know how to tune it, they had a friend that knew how to tune it. So that was nice. I didn't have to touch the 13-inch or 16-inch tom. The 12-inch tom, like I said, was giving me a little bit of trouble. The kick drum, I kind of loosened things up a little bit, but there wasn't a whole lot that I could do there. The kick drum overall just sounds kind of dead as it is, so I'm thinking of, there's a couple of pillows in there, but they're not big enough to like be touching both heads at the same time, so I don't know. I'll probably remove those anyways. I mean, I'm gonna sell the kit, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna do anything to the actual shells because I have too many drum kits as is, and as much as I'd like to keep this, I'm gonna move it along to the next person. Now, the standout for me was the snare. I actually thought this snare sounded really good. For having the stock heads, stock snares, everything on it, I thought it had a nice bit of body. It had a nice punch and it cut through pretty nicely, especially on the rim shots. The rim shots were really standing out to me. Definitely not mad at how that snare drum sounds at all, and I might actually keep it. We'll see. I don't need any more snares, but I also don't have a 13-inch steel snare, and it'd be fun to put some good heads on this and tune it back up and see how good we can really get it to sound. As far as the cymbals, the new beats are a little bit heavy for my liking. I may keep them, I may not. Even though I am a metal and a hardcore drummer, I tend to like my hi-hats a little bit lighter than these. These are pretty heavy and can be a little bit gongy. I need to loosen up that top hat in order to get a little bit more sizzle out of them. Didn't like either of the crashes, but I knew that that was gonna happen. They're both very small. I don't like small crashes. I like big crashes that are like medium thin. That way you get that nice explosive punch from them and they wash out for a minute, but without having the gongy overtones. So these both were, you know, they're just overall too small for the type of music that I like to play. And I like bigger crashes, 18, 19s, 20s. Those are what I tend to use. So I have no problem moving those crashes along. The ride was very washy for as big and as heavy as it is. It was really washy. It had a dark ping to it and not a very defined stick ping. So definitely not my thing. I like pingy bright rides for the metal thing again. Like to do a lot of bell rides, and the bell on this thing is pretty subdued, so probably get rid of this ride and have not any problem with that. And then over here, I actually really ended up digging this 20-inch China Lowboy cymbal. I didn't like it at first because if you hit it on its own, it almost sounds gongy, but I'm hoping that you guys will hear it in the mix. It's got a nice trashy sound to it without being overbearing, and it actually decays pretty quickly. So hitting it in the mix with my earplugs in, I actually thought it sounded pretty good. So I may end up hanging on to that and selling the hi-hats instead. Overall, I will probably keep the hi-hat stand because the hi-hat stand is nice. I will keep the Tama Road Pro boom stand. I will keep this 20-inch China Lowboy, and I might keep the snare, and then everything else is gonna go. Again, the double kick pedal is nice, and I'm sure it probably could be even nicer if I cleaned it up and kind of set it up correctly and maybe put new springs on it, but I've got 5 double kick drum pedals. I definitely don't need another one floating around that I'm not gonna play over the other one, so probably go ahead and let that one go. And then this throne, this seat is a joke. It is very uncomfortable. It's rocking all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell the PDP throne. Definitely had no intentions of keeping that. I have a nice Gibraltar round throne top that I could probably throw on top of the bass and just sell the seat for like 20 bucks or something. I don't know. But overall in its current state, nah. But yeah, good purchase, guys. I spent 550 bucks here. I'm going to keep the China, probably the snare, the 2 stands that I mentioned, and I will still make out with a pretty healthy profit after I sell the rest of this stuff off and invest it into whatever my next drum flip is. So definitely worth the 4-hour round trip. I hope that you guys found this helpful. I really enjoyed making this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the like button on the way out and you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're notified anytime I upload a new Drum Deals video. If there is anything that you guys want to see from these videos that I am not showing, this is a very new concept for me. I'm kind of working this as I go and hoping that you guys dig it. But of course, I am open to your guys' constructive criticism and your suggestions. So anything else that you would like to see out of these Drum Deal videos, put it down in the comments so that I know how to incorporate it for the next video. If you would like to support the channel and what it is I'm doing here, I have a Sweetwater affiliate link. So you go down in the description of this video, click that Sweetwater link, Get yourself something nice from the fine folks at Sweetwater. It costs you nothing extra. I get a little kickback and it greatly helps this channel and my other guitar channel move forward. If you're a guitar gear nerd, check out my guitar channel as well down in the description. And yeah, I'm done talking for the day. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.